Welcome to Lento English. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories, slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
One introduction. A new day was coming for two important countries. The world was watching. A big meeting was planned between two powerful leaders. This meeting could change many things for both nations and beyond. President Donald Trump was ready for a significant trip. He was traveling to Japan. This was his fourth time visiting Japan as the United States president. But this visit was special. It was his first trip during his second term in office. He had just come from another important meeting in Malaysia. Now he was looking forward to his time in Tokyo. In Japan, a new leader was preparing to meet him. Her name was Prime Minister Takaichi Sanae. She was a new face in leadership for Japan. Many people knew that she was the first woman to become Prime Minister of Japan. This made her leadership very important. She had many plans for her country, especially for its safety and its economy. The meeting between President Trump and Prime Minister Takaichi was very important for both countries. It was also important for global politics. They would talk about many serious topics. One big topic was defense. President Trump believed that allies should spend more money to protect themselves. Prime Minister Takaichi had already said that Japan would make its defense budget bigger. This was a major step for Japan's future security. Another main topic was money. Japan had plans to invest a huge amount of money in the United States. This was a deal worth $550 billion. This large investment came from earlier discussions about trade between the two nations. President Trump had clear ideas about where this investment money should go and how it should be used. These talks would decide many things about trade and jobs. Both leaders hoped to create a strong working relationship. A good connection between President Trump and Prime Minister Takaichi could help solve many problems. It could also open new doors for cooperation. The discussions were set to begin soon. Everyone understood that the outcomes of these meetings would be very important for the future of the United States, Japan, and the world. 2. A big welcome. President Donald Trump arrived in Japan. His airplane landed at Tokyo's Haneda Airport on Monday. It was a little after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. This trip was part of his tour of Asia. He had just come from an important summit in Malaysia. The president's arrival marked the start of his 3-day stay in the country. This was President Trump's fourth time visiting Japan as the leader of the United States. His last visit was in 2019. At that time, he went to the Group of 20 summit in Osaka, a big city in Japan. This new visit was also his first trip to Japan during his second term as president. For many, this visit showed the continuing strong ties between the two nations. Prime Minister Takaichi Sanae gave President Trump a very warm welcome. She used social media to share her message with everyone. On Platform X, she wrote about her positive feelings. She said she looked forward to seeing him the next day. She hoped for a good and fruitful talk. This discussion, she believed, would help make the friendship and alliance between the two nations even stronger. Her message showed a clear desire for cooperation. To show the special welcome for the U.S. president, Tokyo's famous buildings lit up beautifully. Tokyo Tower, a tall structure known around the world, and Tokyo Skytree, another very high tower, shone brightly. They displayed the red, white, and blue colors of the United States national flag. Prime Minister Takaichi shared pictures of these beautiful lights online. This was a clear and public sign of honor for the visiting president and his country. It created a festive atmosphere in the city. President Trump had a busy schedule ahead of him during his visit. He would first meet with Emperor Naruhito on Monday night. Then, on Tuesday, he would have important talks with Prime Minister Takaichi. They would discuss many key things. These included defense strategies for both countries. They would also talk about Japan's plan to invest a lot of money, $550 billion, in the United States. This large investment was a result of earlier trade negotiations between the two countries. President Trump had said before his trip that he wanted to build a fantastic relationship with Prime Minister Takaichi. He hoped they could develop strong mutual trust. The warm welcome he received in Tokyo suggested a good start for this goal. The brightly illuminated landmarks and the Prime Minister's personal message showed Japan's readiness for important discussions. The stage was now set for key meetings and talks in the days to come, promising a productive visit for both leaders. 3. Meeting the leaders. President Donald Trump had a very busy schedule during his 3-day visit to Japan. His time was carefully planned to include many important meetings and events. This trip was his first during his second term in office, marking a new phase for the relationship between the two nations. On Monday, his first day in Japan, President Trump had a formal and important meeting. He met with Emperor Naruhito. This meeting was a key part of his visit, showing respect for Japan's long history and cultural traditions. Such a formal greeting is a significant diplomatic step, highlighting the deep respect shared between the United States and Japan. It set a serious and respectful tone for his stay. The next day, Tuesday, was even more packed with important activities. The main event was the summit meeting with Prime Minister Takaichi Sanae. This face-to-face discussion was very important for both countries. The leaders planned to talk about many crucial topics to make their friendship and alliance stronger. They looked forward to fruitful discussions that would benefit both nations. Later on Tuesday, President Trump traveled south of Tokyo for another significant engagement. He visited the Yokosuka Naval Base. This base is a vital location for both American and Japanese military forces, symbolizing their strong defense cooperation. At Yokosuka, President Trump delivered a speech. He spoke on board an aircraft carrier, addressing service members from both countries. This visit highlighted the powerful defense ties and shared security goals. To conclude his busy Tuesday, President Trump attended an important dinner meeting. This dinner was held in Tokyo with many important business executives from both countries. These meetings help to build stronger economic connections and discuss future trade opportunities. Such events are crucial for creating new business deals and fostering economic growth. The president's packed schedule clearly showed the importance of his visit to Japan. Each event was carefully planned to strengthen the ties between the two countries across many different areas. From formal greetings with the emperor to important talks with the prime minister, and from military visits to business dinners, every moment was designed to build a strong and lasting partnership. This busy time set the stage for many important discussions that would shape the relationship in the days to come. 4. Talking about money. The summit meetings between President Trump and Prime Minister Takaichi included many important talks. One very big part of their discussions was about money and trade. Both leaders wanted to make their countries' economies stronger. They talked about ways to help businesses and create jobs in both nations. Japan had a special plan. It wanted to invest a very large amount of money in the United States. This plan was to invest $550 billion. This was a huge sum of money. This big investment was not a new idea. It was part of an agreement that the two countries had reached before. This agreement came after many discussions about trade. The U.S. government under President Trump had considered putting extra taxes, called tariffs, on some goods from Japan. To solve this trade issue, Japan and the United States worked together. They agreed on a plan that included Japan investing this money in the U.S. The agreement was made in September. It was a very important deal. The total value of this deal was more than 80 trillion Japanese yen. This investment was a key part of a bigger understanding about tariffs on many Japanese products. It showed a way for both countries to work together and avoid trade problems. President Trump had clear thoughts about this investment. He stated that the United States government would decide where the $550 billion should go. This meant that Japan would provide the money, but Washington would choose the specific projects or areas for the investment. For example, it could be for new factories, roads, or other big projects. During their meeting, President Trump and Prime Minister Takaichi talked deeply about how to carry out this investment. They discussed the best ways to use the money. They also talked about how much information they would share with the public. They needed to decide how many details about the spending would be open for everyone to see. This was a main point of their economic talks. It showed that both countries wanted to be clear about how the money was used. These discussions helped to make sure the investment would be good for both the United States and Japan. They aimed to build a stronger financial link between the two countries. 5. Talking about safety. During the important talks between President Trump and Prime Minister Takaichi, a big part of their conversation was about defense and keeping both countries safe. President Donald Trump has long believed that countries who are friends and allies should contribute more money to their own security. He often states that the United States carries an unfair share of the global security costs. He feels that friendly nations need to do more to protect themselves and share the responsibility more evenly. President Trump has repeatedly asked allies to take on greater roles in their security. He wants them to increase their defense spending significantly. This idea has been a very strong theme throughout his time as president. He believes that by doing so, allies become stronger and more capable of handling threats, which ultimately makes the alliance more robust and benefits everyone involved. He wants to see all countries play a bigger part in their own safety. Prime Minister Takaichi Sanae listened to President Trump's views carefully. She understood the importance of this message. She made a clear and firm promise to increase Japan's defense budget. This means Japan will spend more money on its military and security forces. Her specific goal is to raise Japan's defense and related expenditures to 2% of its total economic output, known as Gross Domestic Product or GDP, by fiscal year 2027. To show her strong commitment to this goal, Prime Minister Takaichi also explained her plan to speed up some of this funding. She aims to earmark money for defense even in the current fiscal year. This extra funding will be included in a supplementary budget for the year. This action clearly demonstrates that Japan is serious about improving its defense capabilities and doing so quickly. This move by Japan is also part of a wider trend in global security. Other groups of countries, such as the members of NATO, have also agreed to increase their defense-related spending. For example, NATO countries have set a goal to raise their defense budgets to 5% of their GDP by 2035. Japan's decision to boost its defense budget aligns with President Trump's expectations and shows a shared commitment to stronger defense among allies, which helps to maintain peace and stability around the world. 6. A new friendship. President Donald Trump had a very good opinion of Prime Minister Takaichi Sanae. He held a positive view of her from the start. It was not common for the United States to notice the selection of a new leader so early. But President Trump knew about Prime Minister Takaichi even before she was officially chosen for her role. He saw that she was the first female Prime Minister of Japan. This was an important event. Before she was elected by the Japanese Parliament, President Trump used social media to congratulate her. He sent a message of good wishes when she became the head of her political party. This showed his early interest and positive impression of her. He was aware of her political rise quite early. President Trump looked at her political ideas in a good way. He especially liked some of her main positions. One of these important positions was her plan to increase Japan's defense spending. President Trump feels very strongly about this. He believes that allied countries should spend more money on their own safety and security. This idea was a key point during his first term as president, and it remained important in his second term. Prime Minister Takaichi's promise to raise Japan's defense budget fit perfectly with President Trump's views. She planned to increase defense and related spending to 2% of Japan's economy by 2027. This goal was something he greatly supported. Her commitment to a stronger defense for Japan was a major reason for his positive impression. Another area where Prime Minister Takaichi's views appealed to President Trump was immigration. He has always been very interested in the topic of immigration. He liked that her approach to this issue was clear and strong. Her focus on policies related to immigration matched his own political ideas. These shared views helped to form a good connection between the two leaders. President Trump was also impressed by Prime Minister Takaichi's strong support from the Japanese people. She had high approval ratings, which showed she was a popular leader. This public support suggested she was in a strong position. From the United States' point of view, stability in leadership is very important. In the past, Japan had many changes in prime ministers, sometimes a new one every year. The U.S. government wants to avoid returning to those times. They prefer a leader who can stay in power for a longer period. Prime Minister Takaichi's strong and stable position meant she was likely to remain in her role for some time. This gave President Trump hope that their relationship could continue and grow stronger over the years. A stable and popular leader in Japan was valuable for the United States. It meant they could build a lasting partnership. This new friendship, based on shared ideas and a desire for stability, was seen as a positive step for both nations. 7. An old friendship. Before Prime Minister Takaichi, there was another important leader in Japan, Shinzo Abe. He was the former Prime Minister. President Donald Trump had a very strong friendship with him. This friendship was special. During Trump's first time as president, he was not as close to any other world leader as he was to Shinzo Abe. Their bond was truly unique. This close friendship was good for Japan. It helped President Trump see Japan in a positive way. He knew Japan was a very important country, but he also liked Japan because of his friend Shinzo Abe. Abe helped Trump feel good about the country. It showed how much a good personal connection between leaders can matter. There is a clear example of this strong friendship. It involved taxes on cars. The United States had a plan to put new taxes, called tariffs, on cars from Japan. These tariffs would have made Japanese cars more expensive in America. The process to start these tariffs had already finished during Trump's first term. Many people expected him to put these new taxes on Japanese cars. However, President Trump decided to wait. He did not put the new tariffs on cars imported from Japan. This was not normal for President Trump. He usually felt very strongly about these kinds of taxes, but he delayed them. Many people believe this happened because of his friendship with Shinzo Abe. Abe was able to use their strong personal bond to ask Trump to wait. Trump listened to his friend. This event showed the power of a good relationship between leaders. It proved that personal friendships can help countries in big ways, especially during talks about money and trade. A strong personal connection can lead to better outcomes for both nations. It means that building trust and understanding between leaders is very important. This lesson from the past shows what can happen when leaders have a true friendship. It highlights the value of personal bonds in world politics. 8. What happens next? The recent meetings between President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Takaichi Sanae mark an important time for the United States and Japan. This visit is not just about today's talks. It is also about what happens next. Both leaders hope to build a very strong relationship. President Trump has said he wants a fantastic relationship with Prime Minister Takaichi. This personal connection will be key for the years to come, shaping how the two nations work together. Prime Minister Takaichi now has the chance to create a deep bond with President Trump. This bond could be like the one President Trump had with former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. A strong personal friendship can help both countries in many ways, especially during difficult talks. It can make negotiations smoother and help find solutions that benefit everyone. Such a relationship offers a valuable opportunity to strengthen the alliance further. Looking ahead, there are important challenges and opportunities for both nations. One big challenge involves trade taxes, often called tariffs. President Trump has put these taxes on goods from many countries, including Japan. However, a court case is coming soon about these tariffs. The court will decide if the president can use these taxes in the way he has. This court decision is expected in the spring, and its outcome could affect global trade. If the court decides that the president cannot use these tariffs as before, it could change many things. It might mean the United States will need new trade talks with many countries, including Japan. If this happens, a strong relationship between Prime Minister Takaichi and President Trump could be very important. It could help Japan in these new negotiations. A good personal connection might allow Japan to get better outcomes, just as Prime Minister Abe used his friendship to delay tariffs on Japanese cars in the past. This shows the power of personal diplomacy. For the United States, having a stable leader in Japan is also very important. Before Prime Minister Abe, Japan often had a new prime minister every year. This made it hard to build lasting relationships and trust. Now, Prime Minister Takaichi seems to have strong support from the Japanese people, and she is expected to stay in her position for some time. This stability is very good for the alliance. It means the relationship between the two countries can continue to grow and become even stronger over time. This strong, lasting friendship will help both nations face future global issues, from economic changes to security matters together.